All men by these presents, that Aaron Brown, and Sarah A. Brown, his wife, the city and county of New York, state of New York, parties of the first part 4, and in consideration the sum of $3,000, lawful money of the United States, to them in hand, paid by Alexander Russell, the city of Rochester, county of Monroe, in said state, party of the second part, at or before the unsealing and delivery of these presents, the receipt whereof is hereby acknowledged, and the said party of the second part, his heirs, executors, and administrators, forever released and discharged from the same by these presents, have granted, bargained, sold, alien, remised, released, conveyed, and confirmed, and by these presents to grant, bargain, sell, a lien, to the said part of the second part, and to his heirs and assigns, forever, and all that lot said,
yes.
Rochester, known.
I've come in answer to your advertisement.
Thereof, as number 160.
Oh, yes, of course. Come in here, please.
Laurel Street,
Sit down. Your name?
Bartleby.
Well, Bartleby, first I should explain to you that I've recently had the good fortune to be named a master in chancery. That's a very rewarding office, but it does add a great deal more work for my clerks. There are many additional documents to be copied now.
And reversions, remainder and remainder.
Are you an experienced law copyist?
I am.
Thereof, semicolon.
Well, I pay the usual rate, 4 cents per 100 words. Would that be satisfactory to you?
That would be satisfactory.
When can you begin to work?
Immediately.
Well, Bartleby, work you shall have. Bartleby, come here, please. I have some copy to examine.
I would prefer not to.
Bartleby, did you misunderstand me? I have some copy to check against the original. Come in here and help me.
I would prefer not to.
Prefer not to? What do you mean, prefer not to? I want you to compare this sheet. Here, take it.
I would prefer not to.
Turkey.
Yes, sir.
Examine this with me.
Yes, sir.
To all persons to whom these presents shall come, Edward Masters of the city and county of New York, the state of New York sendeth greeting, : Bartleby. Bartleby, quick, I'm waiting.
What is wanted?
The copies you've made, we're going to examine them. Here.
I would prefer not to.
Bartleby, why do you refuse?
I would prefer not to.
But these are your own copies we're going to examine. It'll save you work. We can check all 4 sets at once. It's common practice. Every copyist is expected to help examine his copy. Isn't that so? Can't you speak? Answer me.
I prefer not to.
You refuse to do what I ask when you know it's common practice and common sense?
Yes, I prefer not to do as you ask.
Turkey, what do you think about this? Aren't I right in what I ask him?
With submission, sir, I think you are.
Nippers, what do you think about it?
I think I should kick him out of the office.
Ginger Nut, what about you?
I think he's a little loony.
Bartleby, you hear what they say. Come out and do your duty. Bartleby. Very well, we'll do it without him. Bartleby. Bartleby. Bartleby! Go to the next room and tell Nippers to come in here.
I would prefer not to. I'm sorry, but I'm occupied at the moment. I prefer not to let you in just now. Perhaps it would be best for you to walk around the block once or twice and come back then.
Been living in my office. How lonely he must be. Bartleby. Bartleby. I'm not going to ask you to do anything you'd prefer not to do. I simply want to speak with you. Will you tell me, Bartleby, where you were born?
I would prefer not to.
Have you any relatives living? Will you tell me anything about yourself?
I would prefer not to.
Bartleby, what possible reason can you have not to speak to me? I feel friendly toward you. Bartleby, what is your answer?
At present, I prefer to give no answer.
Bartleby, Never mind, then, telling me about yourself, but let me urge you as a friend to try to adapt yourself to the procedures of this office. Tell me now that you'll help examine your copies tomorrow or the next day. And what I want is for you to say now that in the next day or two you'll begin to be a little reasonable. Say so, Bartleby.
At present, I prefer not to be a little reasonable.
Bartleby, why aren't you copying?
I've decided to do no more copying.
No more copying?
No more.
What is the reason for that?
Can't you see the reason for yourself?
Bartleby, your eyes. I'm sorry. You've been working too hard in this dim light. Of course, you're right to stop work for a while.
Disposing mind and body, comma, do make this to be my last will and testament, comma, as follows, colon, bracket, that is to say, comma, bracket, I desire that my body may be buried at the direction of my executors, comma, hereinafter.
Your eyes seem very much improved. Isn't that so? Don't you think you might try a little copying again?
I have given up copying.
But suppose your eyes became entirely well, better than they ever were. Won't you go back to copying then?
I have given up copying.
Bartleby, I'm sorry to do this, but I must. I'm giving you 6 days' notice. In 6 days, you must be gone from this office. Time has come, Bartleby. You must leave here. I'm sorry for you. Here's money, but you must go.
I would prefer not.
You must. Bartleby, I owe you $12 on account. Here are 32. The odd 20 are for you. Will you take it? I'll leave it here, then. And when you remove your things from these offices, Bartleby, we'll, of course, lock the door since everyone's gone for the day, but you. And if you please, slip your key under the mat so that I may get it in the morning. Goodbye to you, Bartleby, and good luck.
Not yet. I'm occupied.
Not gone. What am I going to do? Will you or will you not leave me?
I would prefer not to leave you.
What earthly right have you got to stay here? Do you pay any rent? Do you pay my taxes? Do you own this property? Will you go back to work? Are your eyes recovered? Will you copy one small paper for me this morning? Will you do anything to give some excuse for staying here? This new commandment I give unto you, that ye shall love one another. Well, it's better than murder. Besides, poor fellow, he doesn't mean anything by it. All right, Bartleby, stay there behind your screen. I shall persecute you no more. At last I can see the purpose of my life, Bartleby, and I'm content. Others may have more important roles to play, but my mission in this world, Bartleby, is to provide you with office space for as long as you may choose to remain.
Morning. Anyone here? Is Mr. Wyckoff in? Of course, foolish question, I can see he isn't. Can you tell me where he is? Can you tell me when he'll be back? Can you tell me anything at all?
Told Fenton that he did not think the goods worth the prices charged, but he did not then inform him what deductions should be made. And his notions were very likely to be colored by the subsequent auction sale. Again, the goods were fancy
Run
summer
around to
goods
my
and
office
subject to
and
great
ask my
appreciation.
secretary for the papers on Peabody versus Fenton.
And during the years
Fix them that quick.
1849 and 1840, when in auctioneers...
My office is just next door. Number 14. Hurry.
I would prefer not to.
1/4 of the goods was millinery, which depreciates more than any other goods in market and is rarely sold at auction. This portion of the goods was charged in invoice.
I can't have him thrown bodily out the door. Poor defenseless fellow. I can't dishonor myself with such cruelty. And when I give him money, he doesn't even touch it. Bribes are useless. No, I can't have him sent to jail. After all, what crime has he committed? Bartleby, I've decided these offices are too far from City Hall. I'm going to move next week. I'm telling you now so that you may look for another place. Wait. Leave that to last. Bye, Bartleby. I'm leaving. Goodbye, and may God some way bless you. You take this.
Sir,
Yes?
are you the gentleman who recently kept offices at number 16 Wall Street?
Yes.
Then you're responsible for the man you left there. He refuses to do any work. He says he prefers not to. And he refuses to leave my offices.
I'm very sorry, sir, but really the man you speak of is nothing to me. I am not responsible for him.
In mercy's name, then who is he?
I can't tell you that. I know nothing about him.
I shall settle him then. Good morning, sir. That's the man.
There he is. You must take him away, sir, at once. These gentlemen are my tenants, and they can't stand it any longer. Mr. Atlee forced your man out of the office, and now he haunts the rest of the building. In the daytime, he perches on the stairs. At night, he sleeps in the hall. He's disrupting everything. Clients are leaving the offices. You must do something immediately.
But he's nothing to me. I have no more to do with him than anyone else.
You were the last person known to have anything to do with him. You're responsible for him.
No. Very well. I'll do what I can. Bartleby, what are you doing there?
Sitting on the banister.
Come with me, Bartleby. Leave us alone, please. Now, Bartleby, do you realize that you are causing me a great deal of trouble by refusing to leave this place? Now, one of two things must happen. Either you must do something or something must be done to you. Now, what sort of business would you like to engage in? Would you like to go back to copying for somebody else?
No. I prefer not to make any change at all.
Would you like to be a sales clerk in a clothing store?
There's too much confinement about that.
Too much confinement? Why, you keep yourself confined all the time.
I prefer not to be a sales clerk. But I'm not particular.
Would you like to be a bartender? You wouldn't have to strain your eyes at that.
I wouldn't like it at all. But, as I said before, I'm not particular.
Then how about going as a companion to Europe to entertain some rich young gentleman with your sparkling conversation? How would that suit you?
Not at all. There doesn't seem to be anything definite about that. I like to be stationary.
Stationary you shall be, then. If you do not leave this building before dark, I shall feel forced, indeed, I shall be forced to leave it myself. Bartleby, will you go home with me now? Not to my office, my home. You can stay there until we can make some convenient arrangements for you. Come with me now, Bartleby. Right away.
At present, I would prefer not to make any change at all.
They've sent him to prison. Bartleby?
I know you, and I have nothing to say to you.
I didn't bring you here, Bartleby. And you mustn't feel any shame at being here. It's not your fault. For you, shouldn't be so bad a place. Sky, the earth.
I know where I am.
Bartleby, isn't there anything I can do to help you?
That your friend?
Yes.
You want to starve? He does let him live on prison food, that's all.
Who are you?
I'm the grub man. Such gentlemen that has friends here hire me to give them something good to eat.
That true?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Then pay particular attention to my friend. Give him the best dinner you can get. And be sure to be as polite to him as possible. Bartleby? Bartleby, this is a friend. You'll find his services very useful.
Your servant, sir, your servant. And, what can I get you for dinner today?
I prefer not to have any dinner today.
What's that? God, ain't he?
Take care of him. You'll not lose by it. I must go now. I'll see you again.
Hey! Hey! You looking for the silent man? There he is, sleeping in the yard. Saw him lie down there about 20 minutes ago.
Bartleby.
His dinner's ready. Won't he eat today either? Does he live without eating?
He lives without eating.
Huh? He's asleep, ain't he?
With kings and counselors.